Okay, let's begin. Yesterday, we talked about reproduction. Mainly, we talked about the male and female reproductive organs, right? And today, we will talk about how fertilization takes place. Okay? Now, the conceiving of a child is known as fertilization. Okay? What happens during copulation? The male releases its semen at the mouth of the vagina. The semen consists of not only one or two, but thousands of sperms. These sperms, they reach the uterus and the oviducts above it by swimming with the help of their tails. If any mature ovum is present there at that time, then the sperm fuses with it. But only one of the lakhs of the sperms can enter the ovum. Okay? Like we talked about it, how the fusion takes place between the sperm and the ovum. Okay, this is the yes. So we were talking about these are the sperms, okay, and only one of it goes and fuses with the ovum, okay. The ovum and sperm fuse and become one cell, okay. They become one cell. This is known as a zygote. Okay? The cell after fusion is known as a zygote. The rest of the sperms, like we talked about, are destroyed. This process of fusion of sperm and ova is known as fertilization. Okay. Now, the zygote formed as a result of fertilization enters the uterus and sticks to its wall, and implantation takes place. Sticks to its wall and implantation means it implants itself on the wall of the uterus, okay, where it further matures. Okay, understood now fertilization process. Any doubt? Can I have your videos on, please?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm putting my.
Okay. Anna, yours. Exercise 5.1 is homework for you all. Okay. This is homework for you all. Now, when we talk about fertilization, further, there are two types of fertilization that takes place. One is known as internal fertilization. Another one is known as external fertilization. What's the difference between internal and external fertilization? Internal fertilization takes place inside the body of the organism. Okay. The fusion of the egg and the sperm, and then the formation of zygote and then its development. All that happens inside the female organism. Okay, that is internal fertilization. But external fertilization is when the fusion and development of the baby and everything happens outside the body of the organism. Yes, Abraham.
Nothing, ma'am. Ma'am, so there are two types of fertilizations, internal and external, right,
Yes,
ma'am?
yes, internal and external. Okay. Now, in internal fertilization takes place in animals like man, cow, goat, dog, hen, pigeon, lizard, etc. In internal fertilization, the fusion of male sperm and female ova takes place inside the body of the female animal, inside the body of the female animal. Okay, and external fertilization. In many animals, fertilization takes place out of the body of the female animal. External fertilization takes place in frog, fish, and other animals living in water,
Ma'am, Anna left.
such as frog. Yes, Anna left. Yes. Anna might be having some network issue. Okay. Yes, Anna. Okay. So, yes, we just read that in the internal fertilization, the fusion of male sperm and female ova takes place in external fertilization. The fertilization takes place in the body of the female animal. Okay. External fertilization examples are frog, fish, and other animals living in water. How does external fertilization in frog takes place? The male and female frog come together in water. There, the female lays thousands of eggs. Okay. These eggs are very soft and they are covered by jelly-like structure. This jelly-like layer keeps the eggs together and protects it. As soon as the female lays eggs, the male frog releases its sperms. Their sperms swim in water with the help of their long tail. The sperms that reach the egg enter the egg and fertilize it. Rest of the sperms and ova are either destroyed or they become food for other animals. In this manner, the fertilization in frog takes place outside in water, and not inside the body of the female frog. Therefore, it is called external fertilization. Okay. Now, female frogs, they lay a lot of eggs. Okay. And the male frog, that time only, the male frog releases its sperms in the water only. Okay. So the sperms swim in the water, okay, in the lakes, and then they enter they fuse with the eggs. Okay. Those that fuse with their eggs um become a what?
A tadpole.
Tadpole. Yes, they become a tadpole. Yeah, they develop to become a tadpole, and then those who are not of use, okay, they are just left, are either destroyed, okay, or other animals eat it. Yes,
Ma'am, when you
fishes
say they are
eat it.
eaten by
Other fishes.
other animals. Oh, ma'am, the tadpole eats it.
Tadpole eats. Mm, Being other water creatures, they just eat it. Okay. Water snakes also. Okay. So that is known as external fertilization. Okay. Next is development of the embryo. Okay. What is an embryo? Embryo is the developed version of a zygote. Okay. A small spherical mass of cells is formed as a result of continuous division of zygote. See, when the sperm and ovum fuses, a zygote is formed. Okay, the first image is of a zygote. Okay, then it further divides itself. Okay, the further division takes place. Okay, and then in the second image you can see many dots are there. Okay, this is continuous division of zygote. After some times the cells get divided into many groups. Okay, and then these various groups start to form different tissues, okay, which then start to form organs. Okay, the structure developed is called an embryo. Okay, when when the zygote divides itself into various cells, and then the cells form groups, and then the groups divides themselves to further form tissues and organs. Then the structure that it makes is known as an embryo. In man and other animals which give birth to young ones, this embryo attaches to the wall of the uterus and gradually completes its development. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, my mother is pregnant, so that my mother is pregnant. So whenever I like there's an app that you have to take your pregnancy date, and then you're able to see your baby. Like whenever I see my mother's baby, I can see the stages of the development. First from one cell, then two, three, then so it shows it completely. Like first she looked very weird, and now since my mother's in the seventh month, it looks like a full grown baby.
Okay. So there is an app that shows it.
Yes, ma'am. Basically,
Okay.
it's just predicting. It's because of the many times.
Okay.
So
It's just predicting.
yeah, ma'am.
Your voice is like very low, Abraham. Can you make it a little bit louder?
And can you hear me now?
It's very low. Very low. I
Wait,
can
wait, wait.
hear. It's clear, but it's low.
Now, ma'am.
Little better. Okay. Yes. So now, at the seventh month, eighth month of the pregnancy, of the development of the baby, the body parts become identifiable. Okay, we are able to identify the body parts of the baby. We can look at the hands and legs and head and everything. So, when the state of embryo in which all the body parts can be identified, when the embryo reaches a stage where they can be identified, is called fetus. Okay, then that baby is known as fetus. Okay, the mother gives birth to the child after the complete development of fetus or of the child. Internal fertilization takes place in hen also, but they lay eggs instead of giving birth to young ones. Okay, the development of the young ones take place outside their body in the eggs. Okay, understood about the embryo, the zygote, embryo, fetus, and baby. Okay, first step is when cells merge, that is known as zygote. Okay, then after that, when it divides itself into many parts and cell groups and they form organ and tissues, it's called embryo. Then when they grow and develop the body parts and become identifiable, it is known as fetus. And then the fetus finally develops into the baby. Okay. Okay. Now, talking about hens. In hen, the zygote continuously divides immediately after fertilization, keeps on moving down the oviduct. Okay, in the hens. Like after fertilization, the zygote continuously divides and keep on moving down the oviduct. Yes.
For a hen, it needs it needs a male also, right?
Yes, a hen, it needs a male. Okay. The male and female hen like they join together and then the transfer takes place. That is the same thing. Okay. In hens also. But what is different in hens that they do not directly give birth to a baby, but they lay egg. Okay. And then their chick develops inside the egg and then hatches out of it. Okay. That is the major difference. So now, as the zygote moves down the oviduct, a hard layer starts accumulating on it. When this hard layer is completely formed, then the hen lays the egg. It takes about 3 weeks for the chicken to form inside the egg. What is essential? Heat is essential for the development of the chicken inside the egg. That's why the hen sits on the eggs. Therefore, when hen sits on the eggs and provides heat to the egg, when chicken is fully developed, then it breaks open the hard shell of the egg and it comes out. In animals showing external fertilization, the development of the embryo takes place out of the body of the female. The embryo develops inside the protective covering. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, why does the egg not break under the hen?
Why does the egg not break under the hen? Because the hen sits on it in such a way. Okay? It sits on it in such a way, like totally covering it with a larger surface area. Okay, it has a little bit of science about it. It covers it with its larger surface area, the bottom of the hen, which balances out the pressure over the egg. Okay, providing it appropriate pressure, providing it appropriate heat.
What I'm saying about if the egg only has one egg. See, if the hen only has one egg, then how does it balance it out?
Then how does it balance it out? Usually it has many eggs. Okay, usually it has more than one eggs. But if one is also there, then somehow maybe it just keeps it around this in between its feet and somehow balances to sit on it. Okay. Somehow it just balances to sit over it and do not break. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. We're waiting for Anna to write this down. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes, Abraham.
ma'am, remember last year when the test it was written zygote develops into a zygote, and you had asked zygote develops into a dash. Because I studied that zygote develops into a zygote, I wrote zygote develops into a zygote.
Mm-hmm. Zygote develops into embryo. Okay. Now remember that's a printing mistake. Okay. Zygote develops into an embryo. Embryo develops into fetus, and fetus develops into the baby.
Man, this
Okay.
book has too many mistakes.
Yes, the book has some mistakes, quite a lot of mistakes. Okay. Banana. Okay. So we will move forward. Hmm. Now,
What about development of adult
yes,
from young ones?
development of adults from the young. We'll on to it, okay? Porous and oviparous animals, okay? And then we will talk about it. Now, animals also, there are, if we talk about their giving birth, okay? The process of giving birth, they are class on that basis, they are classified into two, viviparous animals and oviparous animals. Okay, what are these? Now we know that some animals they give birth directly give birth to, but some animals they lay eggs. Okay, so those animals which directly give birth to young ones are called viviparous, and those animals which lay eggs are known as oviparous animals. Okay. Frog, lizard, hen, butterfly, pigeon, parrot, and other birds and insects are oviparous animals. We can get their eggs easily. We do not get the eggs of a cow, goat, cat. They do not lay eggs. Okay. Because they do not lay eggs. Their eggs remain in the body of the female organism. Okay. Female, and they give birth to young ones only after they complete their development. Therefore, these animals are called viviparous. Understood the difference between oviparous and viviparous? Okay. Anna, do you want to write this down? Shall we move forward? Then I'm scrolling. 5.2 is your homework. Okay. 5.2 is your homework. Development of adult from young ones. The young ones on animals keep on developing until they become adults. But in some animals, the young ones are quite similar to the adults. But in some animals, the young ones are entirely different from the adults. Frog is one such animal. The young ones look completely different from the adult. If you take a look at a tadpole and a frog, they look very different, right? Because mainly because the tadpole has a tail, okay, no limbs, but the frog has four limbs, okay. But if you take a look at the a cow and its baby cow, they look very similar, except that the baby cow is smaller in size. Okay, only smaller in size, but rest it's completely same. The young one of the frog, which emerges from the egg, is known as tadpole. It looks entirely different from the frog. It is difficult to even imagine that this tadpole will one day turn into a frog. Okay. In the same way, silkworms. Okay, silkworms also lay eggs. The larva emerges out of the egg, and this larva forms a pupa. And after some time, the pupa changes into adult silkworm. It's interesting to know that the color, structure, behavior at every stage is very different. Okay, eggs. Then from the eggs, they becomes larva. They secrete a thread-like structure and cover their bodies, known as and then they go get inside it, and that thing is known as pupa. In pupa, the complete development takes place, and when it is developed, they break out of the pupa and become the silkworm. It means that the young ones of silkworm and frog undergo many changes, and only after that they look like the adult animals. This type of conversion from young ones to adult is called metamorphosis. When from the young ones they convert to adults, they slowly develop into adults, step by step, process by process. Then it is known as the whole process of it is known as metamorphosis. Human beings also undergo many changes from childhood to youth, but they do not go under metamorphosis. Okay? Because metamorphosis basically, we humans are like when we are like kids, okay? We are identical, okay? Our mom, dad have two eyes, we also have two eyes, okay? Like we are identical, but and the frogs and the silkworms and all, they are completely different organisms. Like they are totally different, and then they develop into their original species. Okay, so that is why the process that happens in that development from the young ones to the whole mature species is known as metamorphosis. Okay, today we will stop here, and from 5.2.6, that is physical changes, we will continue tomorrow. 5 minutes break for you, okay? Five minutes break, and then we'll begin with math. Okay, let's begin with math. So sorry, one urgent call came. Hello, Nathaniel. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Okay. Can I have your movies on, please? Did you all try out the homework that I sent? 2 problem questions. You can do it if it's not done yet. Okay, finish it. All right. Now, we were doing multiplication of integers. Okay. We saw how to do multiplication with integers, how to work on with the signs. Okay. We saw that. Right now, we are going to check out the properties of multiplication of integers. Okay. See, they are quite similar to those of the properties of natural and whole numbers. Okay. Only that this time we are working with integers. Okay. This time we are working with integers. So let's check out the properties of multiplication of integers. Okay. Now, the first property says that if a and b are integers, then a into b, that is the answer, will also be an integer. Is also an integer. Okay. For example, add any two integers, multiply any two integers. Suppose 3 multiplied by -4. So we will get -12, which is also an integer. There goes the first property. Okay. Second property says that we can multiply in any order when we are multiplying with integers. Okay. A into B will be equal to B into A when A and B are integers. Okay. Look at an example. Look at an example. 4 into -5. Solve it and solve -5 into 4. 4 5s are 20, -20, and 5 4s are 20. It will be -20. -20 and -20. Okay. That means that we can multiply in any order, the answer will be the same. Okay. Third property when we multiply an integer with 0 or we multiply 0 with an integer, The answer will be 0. The answer will be 0, where a is an integer. Okay. For example, if I do minus 4 into 0, answer will be 0. Or if I do 0 into minus 4, answer will be 0. Because 0 is a like different integer. Okay. 0 is like we have positive integers, negative integers, and then there are integers which are, there is only one integer that is neither positive nor negative, which is 0. Okay, it's neutral. Okay, 0 is not positive, 0 is not negative. Okay, so 0, where a is an integer, when we multiply any positive or negative integer with 0, what we will get? 0 itself. Okay, and neutral. Why? Because 0 is neutral, so no plus or minus signs with 0. Okay, we don't say minus 0. Okay, we don't say positive 0. Why? Because 0 is neutral. It's neither negative nor positive. Understood? Okay, any doubt in these three properties?
Ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
Okay, write this down, please.
Ma'am, finished.
Finished? All of you done writing? Nathaniel? Anna, the homework that I gave for math, you don't need the book for it, okay? Like I have posted the questions on the group, so you can just open WhatsApp in the group and directly solve it in
Okay.
your notebook, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can continue, ma'am.
Okay. Take a look at the fourth property.
And the properties are the same as addition, right?
The properties are the same as addition. Okay. Except this one that multiplying with 0, because in addition, if we add 0 to something, the answer is not 0 but that number. Okay. When we multiply 0, then the answer is 0. Okay. Fourth property is the grouping 1, A into B into C will be equal to A into B into C, where A, B, and C are integers. Take a look at an example. Suppose I have to multiply 3 integers. Okay, I have to multiply 3 integers. Okay. Minus 4 into 2 into 3 and minus 4 into 2 into 3. Okay. So first one, I have grouped the first two together. So that I'll do first. What is grouped is done first. Okay. We solve that first. And then what is left, that you do it next. Okay. Once the first part is done. So minus 4 into 2, minus 8 into 3. How much? Minus 24. Okay. Second part, minus 4 into 2 threes are 6. Okay. So 4 into 6, 24. And because negative positive is there, so minus 24. Okay. We are getting the same answer. Whether we group the first two together or the second and the third together, we can group it in any way, we will get the same answer. This is the fourth property. Okay, understood? Next property. When we are multiplying any integer with 1 into 1, or when we are multiplying 1 with an integer, the answer will always be that integer itself. Okay. For example, minus 4 into 1 is minus 4. And if we do 1 into minus 4, then also you will get minus 4. Okay. Next property. When you have multiplication and addition together, okay, when you have to multiply two things, two integers are in addition inside the bracket, okay, and there is a number outside the bracket, and in between them, see, two numbers are there in addition inside the bracket, and outside is a number, okay, and in between them there is multiplication sign. It means that the number that is on the outside has to be multiplied with both the numbers that are inside. Okay. The number on the outside has to be multiplied with both the numbers that are inside. Okay. That is why we do A multiplied by B and then A multiplied by C. There is addition sign between B and C, so we put plus in between. That is the expanded version of how we solve it. Okay, we do A into B and plus A into C. Okay, all right. If there is negative, if there is minus in between B minus C, then you put minus. Okay. Example. I have 4 into 4 multiplied by 3 plus 3 plus 6. Okay. So I can do this in the format 4 into 3 plus 4 into 6 Okay, how much is 4 into 3? 12. And 4 into 6? 24. Add 12 and 24. 36. Okay, 36. Okay, there is one more method. There is one more method. I will show that to you as well. Okay, 4 into 3 plus 6 we have to solve. 4 into 3 plus 6. This is a shorter method. First add what is in the bracket. Okay, what is the rule says that first we add the bracket. So add the brackets. 4 into 6 plus 3, 9. Multiply 9 fours are 36. Okay, both methods are valid. Both methods are applicable. You can use any method. Okay, same answer you will get. Understood now? The last property. Write this down. Any doubt? Any doubt in any of the 6 properties? Please ask.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Write this down.
Done, ma'am.
Done. Okay, I'm clearing the screen now. Okay. Next up is division of integers.
Ma'am, division is same as multiplication, right? The properties.
Yes, Abraham. Yes, Abraham. That's perfectly right. Division is same as multiplication. Okay.
So, ma'am,
Still in the
instead of writing the properties twice, can I write the property multiplication? Can I just say that the properties are same as multiplication?
not properties, Abraham. Not
So I
answer.
say
Not exactly the
rules.
Yes, rules. Rules. Okay. Rules are same. Okay. Rules are same. Okay. If we are dividing a positive integer and a negative integer, and a positive integer, then the answer you will get will be positive integer. I'm writing integer, okay? Don't write number, write integer. Okay. If I divide negative integer with negative integer, that time also answer will be a positive integer. When I divide a positive integer with a negative integer, the answer will be negative integer. If I divide a negative integer with a positive integer, the answer will be a negative integer. Okay. Now we will take a look at some examples from the case 1. Divide 8 by 4. Both are positive. Very simple. Answer will be 2. Okay. Positive, positive equals positive. Another example. Divide -8 by -2. Okay. The answer will be 4. Positive. Why? Because both are in minus. -8 and -2. We have to divide -8 by -2. Minus minus is plus. So answer will be plus, positive. Okay. Another example. 10 divide 10 by -5. Okay. Answer is gonna be -2. Why? Because I'm dividing a positive with a negative. Plus minus is minus. So -2. Okay. Another example. Divide a negative integer with a positive integer. Okay. Divide -14 by 2. 2 is positive, -14 is negative. Answer will be -7. Why? Because minus and plus are minus. Answer will be -7. Okay.
Ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, will you
Okay.
give any sums?
Will I give any sums? Sure, I'll give sums.
Ma'am, will you give us a word problem?
Not today, but we can try out word problems tomorrow.
But ma'am, tomorrow I'm not there. Neither is Anna.
Okay. Anna and Abraham are not there tomorrow. Then you can go through the lecture and I'll post some homework too in the group. Okay? I'll share the YouTube link for the class and I'll share this thing also. Both the things I'll share, okay? So you can go through it, you can do your homework, you can go through it. Okay.
Yeah. Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if nobody shows up for science class, ma'am, will you still do it?
Say again.
Ma'am, if nobody comes for science class, will you still do it? Since me and Anna are the only, like me, Anna, and Shriyan. If Shriyan doesn't show up, ma'am, will you do science class?
No. You and Anna are not there. If Shriyan also doesn't come, then science class will not be there. Okay. Then just maths I'll take. Okay.
I'm done copying.
Yes, Abraham.
I'm done copying.
Done writing. Waiting for Nathaniel Anna to finish it.
Almost done, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, great. Now, see, I'm not going to give you questions to practice, but I'll just explain the properties of division, okay? So that there is a whole exercise that you guys can complete. Okay. Index questions 2.2. It has questions of division. Okay. Let's take a look at the properties. Okay.
Ma'am, can we at least do one word problem?
We'll see, Abraham. Okay, let's do the properties first and then we'll try out. Okay. First property is if A and B same.
Ma'am, other properties same as multiplication. Ma'am, other properties same as multiplication.
Okay. Am I audible? Yes. So are they same as multiplication? No, they are not same as multiplication. Division is different. Okay. Multiplication is same with addition, but division is little different. If A and B, yes, let's do the first property. If A and B are two integers, are are two integers, then A divided by B is not always an integer. Not always an integer. Okay? Not always an integer. Understood? How? How? See, uh, let's write an example. Divide minus 15 by 5. Sorry. Divide minus 15 by 5. We will get how much? Minus 3, which is an integer. Okay. Whereas divide minus 17 by 5. We will divide minus 17 by 5. We will get minus 3.4. Okay. This is a decimal. Yes, Anna? Okay. This is a decimal, not an integer. Okay. So that is why in dividing, what the answer that we get is not always an integer. Anna, just stay for 1 minute and write down the next property. Okay. This is the last one. When we divide anything by 0, 0 by an integer, the answer will be 0. But when we divide an integer by 0, then it is not defined because 0 doesn't hold a value, and we cannot divide any number by 0. Okay, that is the second and the last property. Okay, second and the last property. I can divide 0 by any number. What I'll get is 0. But I cannot divide 2 with 0. That is not defined. Okay, because 0 does not hold any value. Write this down, Anna, and then you can leave.
Bye, ma'am. I will be done.
Done? Done writing? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all, Abraham, Nathaniel, I'm going to give a couple questions to try out. Okay, on division.
Ma'am, when will the class get over?
When will the class get over? In the next 4 or 5 minutes, okay?
Ma'am, if
You need to leave?
class. Yes, ma'am.
You have a class, okay. Then I'll just give you all the homework. Write down the homework and then I'll wind it up. Homework is exercise 2.2. Full thing, okay? You have a lot of division questions, practice them. 2.2 is your homework. Okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we will meet tomorrow. Okay? Anna, Abraham, I'll see you guys in the next week. Okay? Enjoy, have a good time in the VBS. Okay? And you can go through the lectures in your free time. Okay? And in the weekend, please finish the homework as well. If there are any doubts, you can ask me when we will meet again. Okay? Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
Abby.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Nathaniel. Bye, ma'am.
Bye,
See you.
ma'am.